Hey y'all, welcome back to R4 Mississippi Thunder. This is going to be an awesome video coming for you today. We are going to start back up and do our Guns from the Past episodes. I will add in which episode this is, but it's going to be Guns from the Past. Now this firearm is a gun with a deep history. When you think of older guns, but this firearm is still around today. When you think of firearms that are old like that or still around today, you think maybe the 1911, but you don't think about the Smith & Wesson Model 10 revolver. I'm going to show you real quick. She's clear. There's nothing in the chamber, nothing in the cylinder. It is clear. The Model 10 has a history that dates back to 1899. It was not called the Model 10 back then, but it was the Model 10. They call those the pre-Model 10s, but they are still the Model 10 in heart, basically. The United States in 1899 ordered 2,000 to 3,000 Model 1899 hand ejector revolvers chambered in the M182 chambering, which was 38 long Colt. And so at that point, it became known from the 1899 hand ejector, it became known as the 38 military and police model. Now, you know, Smith & Wesson fans, anybody, when you hear that military and police, you think that's something that, you know, started in the 21st century even, but this actually started back in 1899 when the U.S. government ordered that for the military. Let's see, but that same year, some military issues over in the Philippines, when they ordered the gun, they were having some ineffectiveness with that 38 long Colt. So Smith & Wesson began offering the new chambering in, can you guess it? What it is today, the 38 Smith & Wesson, aka the 38 Special. Let's see, a slightly, elongated, it's actually a little bit longer, and that sounds odd, a little bit longer than the 38 long Colt, and it had a greater bullet weight. We look at about 158 grains now for a 38 round. The military and police revolver was issued in large numbers during the World War I. So, they always talk about 1911, two world wars. I can get that out. But the Smith & Wesson Model 10 has been in 2 world wars. Like I said it easier that time. Let's see. So they were in World War I, and then during World War II, they produced some from 1942 to 1944 they had the V prefix in the serial number, and those are known as the Victory models. But they were still pre-Model 10s to Smith & Wesson collectors. That's what they consider those. But you have the Victory model. You had the original 38 Smith & Wesson military and police. Now, let's see. And the earlier ones didn't always have, the ones from 1942 didn't always have the V prefix. I'm going to stop there. I know you're tired of hearing me talk, so we're going to show a little shooting here. We're loaded up. If any of this doesn't fire, it is not the gun's fault necessarily, because we just got like a dump bag of ammo that from my dad's passing. I just found this. I have no idea how old some of this stuff is. We're going to just try it. So we have a little bit of everything in here, and we're going to shoot this thing here. We are loaded up, got our eyes on, ears on. Camera lady's got her eyes on, ears on. Nobody else is around us. We are on our private range, which has a backstop that's probably 40, 50 feet tall. All right, here we go. Let's do a little single action to start with. This one, they all fired. No, wait, only fired 5. This is a 6-shot, not a 5-shot. I'm gonna get it loaded back up. Get it right back with you. We got a 6 more loaded back up. Let's try a little double action. And we're back from the range, just like that. It's funny how YouTube works with editing everything. Anyhow, the Victory models were standard issue sidearms for the United States Navy and Marine Corps air crews. So they were just a smaller, smaller firearm package that the air crews could take with them. About 590 M&P revolvers were supplied to the United Kingdom during that time, and also Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa during the World War II era. Now, those were chambered in 38-200, which was a caliber that's already used in the Enfield and Weberly revolvers, so it just made an easier transition. They already had the ammo for it. So if you find one and it's not chambered in 38 special or 38 long coat, it might be chambered in that 38-200 38-200 British. And so that would be kind of a neat find. I don't know if some of you had that. Just sound off in the comments below. Officially, in 1957, Smith & Wesson adopted a universal numbering system to their firearms. Well, in the 1950s, but 1957 is when it became the Model 10 officially. And again, 600 million or so of these were produced. And so it actually was the most produced firearm of the 20th century. Just a little bit about the firearm itself. It is, if you don't know anything about it, it's a 6-shot revolver. Holds 6 38 Smith & Wesson specials there. Has fixed sights. Some of them have like a half moon sight. I actually have to dig out the barrel, but this is actually a thicker barrel profile. This particular one actually shipped with a thinner pencil barrel profile with the half moon sight on the top, but it was later changed out by actually by my father. This is one of my late father's pride and joys here. But he changed it out for the little 2-inch barrel from the 4-inch barrel. They were actually shipped with 2-inch barrels, 2.5-inch barrels, 3-inch barrels, 4, 5, and 6-inch barrels were all different ways they were shipped with this. And it was actually a revolver that could have been left in the past, because in 2010 they ceased production on the Model 10. But in 2012, they brought it back as part of the classic line. And up until this year, they've been pretty well the same in the classic line. But they had the lock, the internal lock from Smith & Wesson. But this year, as you know, or you might not know, but if you're anybody that knows anything about the firearm industry, actually this year Smith & Wesson took off the lock. And so they don't have the internal lock anymore. But one thing you will not get with one of the classic lines is the hammer attached, or the firing pin, attached to the hammer. That is something that they did away with, and you will not find, but that is on something you find on older revolvers. Let's stop there and go back to the range for a minute.
That was 6.
We made some improvements that round. It's been a while since I've shot a revolver double action, and kind of with these Smiths, you can kind of stage that trigger, but like I said, it's been a while since I've done that. Let's see if we can go one more round. I'm gonna go single action, see if I can hit those card suits up there. That part's been giving me some trouble, been giving me some heartache, but we are loaded up. Here we go. We won't show this one. We even got a old wad cutter in the bunch.
Wow.
All right, let's go some single action. Six. Yeah, we don't have that much more. Go ahead and I'm surprised every one of these fired. But I guess we'll go ahead and get rid of everything we got here. Here's a rat shot shell. Go ahead and stick that in there too. Shoot, another wad cutter. Single action time again. That must have been that shot shell. It smoked and everything else down there. Okay. We got just a few more. We got just 4 more. You can tell a lot of these are old ammo. Oh, my camera lady says it stinks. My dad, he was in the law enforcement in the 70s, and they smell like the 70s, I guess, because I think they're about that old. Anyhow. All 4 of them. All right, well, that takes care of that little range bag of ammo. But we got that out of the way. Again, you are looking at the Smith & Wesson Model 10. And the Model 10, again, I'm going to mention this earlier in the video, I'm sure, but it's only chambered in 38 Smith & Wesson Special. So, only shoots 38. Does not shoot 357s, only 38s. Well, it's a fun time out here on the range. Anytime we're out here on the range. And back to you, R4. Okay, we're back at the R4 abode here. This particular Model 10 is a Model 10-5, which they had -1s to, I have to look that up, I don't know, but they had a little small iteration with every one. And the Model 10-5 started about 1962. This particular model appears to be serial number wise around the 1967 time frame. And at that point in time, it's probably when it was, well, no, let's see. Yeah, it was probably a little later than that when it was purchased and did the little barrel swap to it. It is one of the pinned barrels. You can see there, the pin right there that pins the barrel in. Oh, right there. Can you see that? Barrel pin. Okay. This one, as you can see, it's it used to have some paint on the front there. It's been a little rough for wear. In a holster, it's got some rust issues on it, some bluing wear on it. It is something that just is quintessential. Actually, my father was in law enforcement. He actually, you know, carried this during his law enforcement days. He was a police officer at one point. Also, he worked with the ABC. He was an ABC agent, and he worked with them both in uniform and undercover. So he did carry this at some points, and he is the one that put the little 2-inch barrel so he could conceal it better. Anyhow, well, hope you enjoyed this. I know this video is going to be a little long. Hope you enjoyed this video of Guns from the Past, and we are going to sign out here or sign off here on R4 Mississippi Thunder. We appreciate you coming by. Remember, for I have learned to be content in every circumstance comes from Philippians 4:11 in the good book. Now, God bless you and God bless America.